What is sleep regression? And I've heard about sleep regression happening at different stages for, babies and toddlers.
Yeah.
So what is it and how do we avoid it if we can?
Okay. Well, I'm going to give you a somewhat controversial answer here.
Okay.
But sleep regressions aren't really a real thing.
Really?
I know. So there's really not that much like scientific evidence to prove this concept of sleep regressions. Now, what you're talking about and what people typically see is when when kids like achieve different milestones just in their normal like brain maturation process, that can disrupt sleep. But the reason why the concept of sleep regressions really isn't a real thing and why I don't like that term is because I feel like it gives it seems like real science-y.
Right.
And it's like, well, this is why this is happening. It's a sleep regression. And oh, well.
Right.
Nothing I can probably do about it. It's like a science-y thing going on with my kid. But that's not really true. So certainly there are times when your kid is, learning how to walk or learning how to stand up, or there's different times where kids are going through milestones and learning things, and it can disrupt sleep, but it's not something that the way I hear people talk about it, it's like, oh, we've been in the sleep regression for 6 months. You're like, no, it'll be a couple days of a blip.
Right.
But parents can do things to help that from spiraling out of control, So I think a lot of times it's kind of used as an excuse.
Got it. But that totally makes sense how you just explained that.
Yeah.
So what are some things we can do when they are going through that patch of uneasy sleep? What do we do?
Well, the best thing to do is have good sleep habits when they're not going through that, which is most of the time. So when I say good sleep habits, I mean like a well-established, bedtime that your kid can get used to and a good bedtime routine, right? So these are the 5 or 6 things that we do before bed, and it takes, 15, 20 minutes. And kids kind of get used to that. So when you have that system set up and it's very routine, kids get used to that. And then those sleep disruptions can pass more quickly.
Oh.
So it's really working on
Yes.
Certainly like things will be different. Like let's say if your kid is sick or, vomiting all night, things are going to be different, but that doesn't last forever. That's a few days. Then we get back on track. So it's the idea of having a back on track to get to.
Totally makes sense.